This is the 2006 Hummer H3. It has 250 horsepower and drinks gas like it's water. It comes in the special Hummer Yellow and has an inline 5-cylinder engine. Buying tires for this vehicle cost more than my first apartment. The Hummer SUV is a longtime favorite, but when the auto industry went through a downturn, GM shelved the Hummer and has not brought it back. It is still one of the most popular used cars and brings in good money on resale.
Governor Rick Scott back in Orlando.
It's a beautiful SUV, but not nearly as beautiful as my partner today, former Fox Orlando anchor, Sonni Abatta.
Hello?
Sonny, it's Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, I'm in your neighborhood. You want to go get some tea?
Absolutely. I'll be waiting outside for you.
I'm Scott Jones, and this is TV news people in cars getting tea.
Gosh, fancy seeing you here.
Like, this is the first time we've ever met in person.
It is. Can I tell you you're on Facebook Live too?
Oh, great.
Okay, just kidding. We'll see you guys later. I have to do this. This is my bread and butter these days.
The
Facebook Live. I'm not on TV anymore.
Can I just say that you're even more beautiful in person than you are on the thing?
You're just saying
That's
that.
how you butter. That's how you butter up the person.
Are you trying to get me to buy your tea?
Yeah, we gotta go get some tea.
I'm super excited about this. It is good to meet you. We've chatted so much.
We have chatted for a long time on the phone. We've never met in person. I feel like I know you in person.
Well, yeah, ever since, gosh, when I left, I think it's like a year and a half ago, we've talked quite frequently. But
we have. And you've now started your own blog.
I'm a blogger. Isn't that annoying? How annoying is that word, though?
You know what? Look, I got this hat. I got this hat right there.
Oh my gosh, I didn't
Look at
even
that.
see that.
I got this hat yesterday at the mall.
Hysterical.
And I said, I got to get this hat. And you know what? I want to get another one that says vlogger.
Well, it should tell you something about the prevalence of this job now and how common it is that they make hats at mall kiosks that say blogger.
You know what? That's true.
It's a good life, though.
I bet you people that aren't even bloggers have blogger hats.
They just want to be like us, huh?
You know, because this job is so,
so glamorous.
It is. It's as glamorous as it gets.
I like stalk people to get interviews with them, and I'm like calling them and like, cold emailing them, and I'm like, gosh, things have changed for me since I used to be with a news organization.
So what is when your blog, what's your blog about? I mean, I've read it, and
I'm gonna turn it on here.
You can.
There we go. It's motherhood and lifestyle is like the kind of technical term, but it sort of encompasses all kinds of things about living well. It was a lot of mom stuff though, because that's sort of the stage in life that I'm in right now with 3 kids. So we have a lot of that.
How old are your kids?
5, 3, and 10 months. And
wow.
2 out of 3 are currently sick. So it's
perfect.
I'm a little bit sick too. I have a little bit of a frog in my
Well, I woke up this morning. You know what? I should have sprayed you with Lysol when you got in the car. Coming here to Orlando, I had to drop my dog off at camp, and that's always sad for me.
Actually,
so I can imagine what it's like, leaving your kids.
Yeah, I always say that I think actually having dogs might be harder because you can raise a kid to eventually speak and go to the bathroom on his own, but you can't do that with a dog. So it maybe is harder in that way to be a dog parent than it is a kid.
Well, it's so funny because when I drop my dog off at the little daycare that he stays at the boarding thing, he's so funny because there's a door that he goes through that goes back to the kennels, and they let him out several times a day, and so he likes it. But I think he's like a kid you drop off at daycare. He hates going through that door.
Yeah, they know what's up.
But once he goes through the door, I think he has fun. Because whenever I pick him up, he always is tired and worn out from playing with his friends and stuff like that.
So cute.
So it's kind of weird like that.
And there was a time I sent my son to school before he was potty trained without a diaper. And the parent,
I'm sure they have extra though, don't they?
After he peed himself. Having kids will immediately make you less embarrassed and less self-conscious about everything in life because you can't care about the little things that you used to. You just don't have the time or the energy.
And things that grossed you out before don't gross you out anymore.
Gosh, I was hard to gross out before, but now it's try
you know what?
me. It would take a decapitated
oh my God. Yeah, it's so funny that you said that. My first job, I was a photographer in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I was I used to run all the spot news, everything that was going on and everything else. And I remember rolling up on this car accident, and a car literally like went through the median, jumped up, and then crashed into the top of another car and everything else, and it decapitated the driver. And so here I am at the scene, and this mother rolls up and she goes, "Oh my God, that's my son's car. That's my son's car." And they said, "Ma'am, you can't go there." And she's like, I have to know if that's my son. I have to know if that's my son." And they're like, "Ma'am, you can't go there. There's been a decapitation." And she's like, "I have to know, is that my son or not?" So the cop finally said, "Hang on." He goes, he opens the door, he reaches in the back seat, and he pulls out the son's head, and he holds it up like this, and he goes, "Is this your son?" And she goes, "Oh no, he was a lot taller than that."
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Now you started in Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, in my hometown. I'm a Berg girl.
And it's kind of funny because I worked in Pittsburgh for 5 years. The longest place I ever worked in TV was in Pittsburgh.
Oh, nice. It's just an awesome city.
You know what? I went from Miami to Pittsburgh, and I will be totally honest. When I got to Pittsburgh, I was like, "Oh my God, this is boring as can be." And an anchor there named Chris Long, he was the anchor at WPXI. I think he's an anchor in Palm Springs now.
Yeah.
Chris Long said to me, he said, "Give it a year, you'll love it." And he was right.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, I grew to love Pittsburgh.
It's a really, I will say this, there are no bigger hearts in any human being than the people of Pittsburgh. They're kind and they're welcoming, and it's such a just like a melting pot of different cultures and different traditions, and it's really special. It's a special place.
You worked at KDKA, right?
I worked at KDKA, yeah, for 6 years, right out of college. I was 21.
Look at you.
I know.
Top 20 market right out of college?
Well, yeah, I was fortunate. I had interned at a bunch of places, including at KDKA, and they said, "Look, we have this position. It's called a reporter trainee. It's through CBS. We haven't used it before."
You know what? Why they call it reporter trainee?
Because they're training you.
Because they're going to pay you no money.
That's exactly why.
And so by putting trainee on the end, they could call you just chief reporter, but they thought reporter trainee sounded much more official.
This title is called "One Step Up from an Unpaid Intern." Do you want it? And I was like, yes.
Of course you want it.
Of course you do.
Of course.
Honestly, that shop in particular, it was just, it's legendary. So you have all these really, really talented people there that I was trying to I was asking people questions and bothering them when they were writing their stories. They were probably like, okay. But it was cool because I got to really, I learned on the job with literally the best people. So, and I still love it there.
Okay. So I want to get in the left lane?
On we go. Yeah, all the way up there. We have a while though.
All
But
right.
this is like an area where police have speed traps, so beware.
Okay.
Can you smile your way out of a ticket? Because I can't.
No, but I got Sonni Abatta in the car, so.
Hi guys.
Do
No,
people
it
still,
doesn't-
do
it doesn't
people
work
like,
right.
now that you've been out a year and a half.
Yes.
Do people still recognize you?
This is the crazy thing. I swear to you, people recognize me now more than they ever did when I was in TV. Like, literally, I was at the JW Marriott this weekend with the kids for spring break, and I'm walking with a stroller with sunglasses on the edge of the property, and this guy in a pickup truck pulls up, like the grounds maintenance, so they drive on the walking paths, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, he takes off his sunglasses and rolls down his window, he says, "I know who you are. Are you ever going back to news?" And I was like, you really do have a good eye because I have no makeup on and sunglasses, and so yeah, they do. It's strange.
Yeah, here's the cop you were
I told
talking
you.
about.
How good am I?
You are there
Siren,
you go.
lights on and everything.
The
See,
cop-
that could have been you. I saved you.
We should also probably plug your website. Sonni,
Oh, yeah.
what is that?
SonniAbatta.com.
SonniAbatta.com. You know what I did learn off your site? I noticed I wasn't exfoliating right.
I did a whole chemical and physical exfoliation. Sure, 'cause this
Do you
is
think
along
we're
the
ever
line.
going to get out of this line?
No, this is these lines are the worst.
Do you know that I don't even ever go to Starbucks?
Why?
Because I don't drink coffee. That's why this
where do you get
segment
your-
is called TV News People
With
in
tea.
cars drinking tea.
Well, too bad Tivanas are all closing. Because
Are you getting tea or are you
jam.
getting coffee?
Well, I have to get tea, don't I?
You can
No,
get coffee.
I actually,
Even though this is the very first episode, you can get coffee if you want.
I don't want to screw up the whole thing. All right, I do tea anyway. I'm a green tea person, actually.
Okay.
That's my drink. This is one of those people that like buys for their whole office and the drive-through. Don't be one of those people.
Yes.
If you have more than 4 drinks, do us all a favor and walk
Could I get
yourself
67 muffins?
I know. Oh, I saw one time someone was handing like 3 cartons worth of drinks out, and I'm like,
you know what? I never go to the drive-thru. Even when I'm by myself, McDonald's, even that, I will not go to a drive-thru.
Can we recognize your strong watch game for 1 minute?
You know,
You
look at this.
Well, listen.
Look at, you think TV news people are broke as hell, but look, we're both sporting Rolexes.
No, it isn't. No. I just was saying, when Scott was getting in the car, I immediately noticed, because I always notice a nice watch, that he had a great. What do you think people, this is something that I am always sort of thinking about in this world now. What do you think people like to read most? Do you think people like to see like the peek behind the curtain at people, or do you think people like actual useful information?
I think,
tips?
you know what,
Like,
the bottom line is, and if you notice on FTVLive, I put a number, and nobody would really notice this until you go back and scroll through. I put a number of good stories on there.
Right.
Like somebody does a good package. I will put the video on the thing, or somebody got recognized for something, or somebody did something cool. I'll put those stories on there. Nobody ever remembers those stories, but they remember the anchor that got arrested, or the anchor that did this, or the anchor that did that. And so the bottom line is, let's be honest, TV news people just like the gossipy, dirty stuff.
We are bad people. Well, you are good at what you do, I will say that. And everybody was always buzzing around the newsroom. Did you see what's on FTV Live today? And they're acting like they don't read it, but they do.
If you're good at your job and good in this business, you can ask somebody, what do you think of FTV Live? Oh, I love that site. I go to it all the time.
Right.
If they're bad and they're a bad boss or bad at their job or something like that, what do you think FTV? Oh, that site's just a piece of garbage gossip site, blah, blah, blah. And it's really a good litmus test of who are, what people are what in the business.
In TV news, as in life, I mean, you can spend your whole life trying to keep up with people and trying to be a version of yourself that you think people want to see, but it's exhausting. And I learned that lesson early on. I am who I am in all of the good and the bad and the dorky and the weird and the funny. It's just, you are who you are. And
Robin Mead used to say Robin Mead said the same thing. She really started to enjoy the business when she became herself and not trying to be something for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, I went through a difficult period with some friends early on, and I think I was taught that lesson a little earlier than a lot of people, to just be okay, sort of being on my own and being who I am. And that lesson has carried really well into TV news, because you can't make everyone happy. You can only be yourself.
There's the perfect advice.
Wisdom.
Wait a minute, I'll drink to that.
Generic wisdom from Sonni Abatta. You're welcome, world.
All right, well, you know what? I'm going to drop you back off. You know what? I could ride around Orlando like forever with you.